Hello everybody, welcome to New 4. Today we are going to talk story, the last chapter in A Little Princess. But before taking the chapter, let's first revise the previous one. Try to answer these questions with me, and then we will start chapter 6. Question number 1. What did Sarah find in the attic every evening? Excellent. She found everything. Blankets, cakes, tea, fire, pictures on the wall, and some books. Question number 2. Complete. Here we are having excellent party. Here we are having a party. Very well. Now, chapter 6, Lost and Found. The next morning, the first visitor to the house next door was Mr. Carmichael, back from Russia. He came from Russia. But when he came into the house, his face was sad. Mr. Carrisford knew the answer at once. You didn't find her. I found her, but it was the wrong girl. Her name was Emily Carew, and she is much younger than Ralph Crew's daughter. I'm very sorry. We must start again. But where? It's 2 years now. 2 years. Well, she isn't at school in Paris. We know that. Let's look at schools in England now. At that moment, Randers came quietly into the room. The little servant girl from the attic is here, he said to Mr. Carrisford. With the monkey. He ran away again last night to her room. Would you like to see her? Yes. I'll bring her in. And so, Sarah came into the room and stood in front of the Indian gentleman. She smiled at him. Your monkey came to my room last night, and I took him because it was so cold. Mr. Carrisford watched her face with interest. That was kind of you. Sarah looked at Randers by the door. Do you want me to give him to the Lascar? How do you know he is a Lascar? Oh, I know Lascars. I was born in India. Mr. Carrisford sat up suddenly. In India? But you are a servant at a school next door. Yes, I am now, but I wasn't at first. The Indian gentleman looked at Mr. Carmichael, and then Mr. Carmichael looked at Sarah. What do you mean by at first, child? When father first took me to the school. Where is your father? He died. His friend ran away with all his money, and there wasn't any money for me. There was nobody to take care of me. So Miss Mansion put me in the attic and said I must work for my bread. The Indian gentleman looked at Sarah. What was your father's name? Tell me. Sarah looked at him sadly. Ralph Crew. He died in India from a fever 2 years ago. Mr. Carrisford's face went very white. Carmichael, it's a child! The child! That was an exciting day for many people. At first, poor Sarah didn't understand. But Mr. Carmichael talked to her quietly and told her everything. The true story about her father's friend and the diamond mines and the 2 years of looking for Rolf Crew's daughter. And all the time, they sat by his fire. I was in the house next door. Yes, and you are never going back there. Your home is with me now. I'm going to take care of Rolf's little miss. Sarah laughed happily. And you were the friend too? All those beautiful things in my attic came from you and Ramdas. The Indian gentleman smiled at her. We were sorry for you. Ramdas can move very quietly, and he carried the things across the roof when you were out. I couldn't find Rolf's daughter, but I wanted to help somebody. And then Ramdas told me about this sad little servant girl in the attic next door. And so the story ended happily for everybody, but not for Miss Minchin. Sarah was very rich now, and Miss Minchin wanted her to come back to school. She came to see Mr. Carrisford, but he said some very angry things to her, and she went away with a red face. Becky came to live in Mr. Carrisford's house too. She was Sarah's servant, and she was very happy. She had a warm room, nice dresses, and the good things to eat every day, and she loved Sarah very much. Ermengarde also visited Sarah every day, and Sarah helped her in her study. There were millions and millions of diamonds in the mines, and half of them are Sarah's. And they were her diamonds all the time when she was cold and hungry in the attic. And she was a princess then, and she is a princess now. Thank you for listening. After you finish the story, wish you all good luck and study well. Goodbye.